Okay, so I'm gonna start doing discussion videos on fucking YouTube. This is my YouTube channel, and fucking I have not done these in a while. I haven't done a video in a while, but like I fucking love my YouTube channel, so why not? People requested it on Snapchat. Some people really wanted me to do some stuff, so I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start it off with I'm gonna do a lot of videos, a lot of different videos, a lot of different types, but I'm gonna do a discussion series called character study, just character study, plain old. So I'm gonna start with the Riddler. Now, if you don't know, obviously everyone knows the Riddler is a DC Comics villain who's mainly he goes against Batman. He's a Batman villain. Now, Riddler started in the pages of Detective Comics 140 in October of 1948, and he was just a fucking silly villain. I mean, that was the 40s, and especially in Batman comic books, every villain was silly. Every villain was basically just a gimmick, and they would just throw stuff at the wall and see if it stuck. And certain villains stuck. Certain villains stuck. Fucking the Joker. They killed him the first time, and he stuck, and the Riddler stuck. And so the whole thing with the Riddler was he would give Batman puzzles and riddles to solve that would lead him to the next clue of the crimes that Riddler would commit. And this was kind of just a gimmick that the Riddler had, but through the years this would be developed. Like Frank Gorsha kind of added a humor side to him, even though he already kind of had it. And then there was the zany fucking shit that Jim Carrey did. But the character really came into his own in the 90s and the 2000s, where they added a kind of insecurity level to his character, where the reason why he did this is he wanted to, prove to Batman that he was smarter than him. Because the big thing about the main element about Riddler's character, especially in the modern age, is that the Riddler is extremely insecure about himself, and the Riddler needs validation. The Riddler needs people to know that he's extremely intelligent because he's extremely insecure. This goes back to the fact that in his origins, his new origin, the Riddler had a dad, and his dad didn't give a flying fuck about him, and he would he would basically go into a competition in his school. Who could solve certain like a bunch of riddles in time. And so he cheated. He went into the school, studied all of them, did them all in time, and he won this riddle book, this book of riddles. And he would test people's knowledge in the schoolyards, and he would get the shit kicked out of him. But he loved it because it proved how smart he was. And this was kind of his whole thing. Edward Nygma, his whole thing was he wanted to prove to everyone else that he was smarter than them, because there's a certain level of insecurity. He needs to prove to everyone that he's better than everybody else, because truly he has no self-confidence in himself. And he sees Batman, who's the world's greatest detective, the world's greatest crime solver, and he's like, well, I got to prove to him that I'm better than him. And by doing that, I'm going to throw a bunch of challenges at him and see if they work. Another thing is that, it's not always riddles. A big element is that, of course, he's intelligent. So in the modern age, that includes technology, and they've developed him. He's a master hacker. He's good with tech, all that kind of stuff, But the main idea is that he knows all these riddles, and he knows all this like stupid shit that nobody really should know and nobody really wants to know, but like he knows because he's so fucking insecure that he's gonna learn all this shit so he could, act like he's better than everybody. And that's a big thing. Although he is extremely smart, there are people who are smarter than him, and even if people aren't smarter than him, he just acts like a total asshole. That's a big part of Riddler's character, is he just acts like a total asshole because he needs to prove to everyone else that he's better than them. There's a big validation part of his character. And so when you're reading the comics, that's a big thing that comes out, is that everything he does isn't for money, isn't for fame, isn't for women, isn't for fortune. It's not for any of that stuff. What it's for is it's for him to prove to Batman that he's better than him. And so, it's a cool motivation, because Bane's kind of the same way, but Bane has a load of self-confidence, and what he tries to prove to Batman is that he's the ultimate self-made man and that he can perfect himself better than Batman. But with Riddler's way more insecure. Bane has it all. Bane is smart. Bane is strong. Bane has self-confidence. Bane is a main man. The Riddler is this skinny, frail fucking dude who's only really smart, and he's fucking insecure about it. He's a fragile person. And so, that's what I love about him, is that not only is there's a great like ambiance in the books when you're reading it. It's like Batman's in his fucking, it's like fucking brain quizzes. It's like fucking brain teases, and Batman has to solve it. It's like fucking Mythbusters with Batman. Not only that, but he has a great costume, the green with the purple. It's all awesome. He has the cane, and the cane has a bunch of functions that he has, like remote controls that he can control the TVs and different weapons in his lair. And, there was a time in the early 2000s where in Detective Comics, Paul Dini had him as a hero, and he would help Batman out solve crimes. And he was a really great detective like Batman. And for a time, it was like, yeah, the Riddler is really turning a new leaf. But, the Riddler became bad again eventually. And, if I'm going to recommend some Riddler stories, obviously, Riddler Reform, fucking a bunch of animated series episodes. If you're so smart, why aren't you rich? Obviously that's a great episode. Let's see. Fucking Zero Year is my ultimate recommendation, because that's kind of the perfect Riddler story, is 0 Year. So that's the main recommendation. If you're not going to buy anything, just buy 0 Year. There's some early stuff with Paul Dini that he did with the Riddler that's really good. There's a couple Legends of the Dark Knight stories that are really good. There's a couple Shadow of the Bat stories that are really good with the Riddler. But, that's just simple research. But, the real big one is Endgame. If you don't read Endgame, you don't really like the Riddler. But, yeah, this is my first, thing that I'm going to do. But it's cool. So I'll see y'all later.